Hi friends, I'm so excited that you found our first video for our first day of virtual learning. Today's video is going to be a story. I am reading this story from my home, but when you see me on Zoom, I will be at school. I have a great story for our first day of virtual preschool. It is called The Kissing Hand. The person who writes a story is called an author, and the author of The Kissing Hand is named Audrey Penn. So this is The Kissing Hand by Audrey Penn. This story has two raccoons. This is a mommy raccoon, and this is the kid raccoon. This raccoon is named Chester, and he is just about as old as you guys are. And this, in the story, is his first day of school. He's going to raccoon school. As we read the story together, I want you to think about how Chester feels about going to school for the first time. Okay, so let's start. The Kissing Hand by Audrey Penn. And right away we start out with a picture of little Chester. I see Chester has some tears in his eyes. Can you see them? Let's see what Chester is saying so that we can figure out how he feels right now. I'm going to turn my camera so you can see the full page. Chester Raccoon stood at the edge of the forest and cried. I don't want to go to school, he told his mother. I want to stay home with you. I want to play with my friends and play with my toys and read my books and swing on my swing. Please, can I just stay home with you? And he's crying. How does Chester feel? Does he feel happy? No, usually when you feel happy, you're not crying. Does he feel sad? Yes. If you thought sad, give yourself a big pat on the back. Chester is not feeling sad. He says, "Can I stay home with you, Mom?" Mrs. Raccoon took Chester by the hand and nuzzled him on the ear. Sometimes we all have to do things that we don't want to do, she told him gently, even if they seem strange and scary at first. But you will love school once you start. You will make new friends and play with new toys. We're going to read new books and swing on new swings. All of these things that Chester is doing or will do at school, we will get to do at school too. We're already reading a new book together. We're going to play with some toys together. Now, I don't have a swing that I can share with you virtually, but once we get back to school, we might have some swings to swing on. We will certainly be playing outside once we get back to school. Now, Chester's mother says, "Besides, I know a wonderful secret that will make your night at school seem as warm and cozy as your time at home." Chester wiped away his tears and he looked interested. "A secret? What kind of secret?" he says. "A very old secret," said Mrs. Raccoon. "I learned it from my mother, and she learned it from hers. It's called the Kissing Hand." "The Kissing Hand?" asked Chester. "What's that?" "I'll show you." Mrs. Raccoon took Chester's left hand and spread his tiny fingers into a fan. Show me your hand. Can you spread your fingers wide like this? Leaning forward, Mrs. Raccoon kissed Chester right in the middle of his palm. Look, I'm going to do it to my palm. Just like that. This middle part here is called the palm. Can you touch your palm? Ooh, maybe it tickles. So right here is where Mrs. Raccoon gave Chester a kiss. You can put your hand down now. So Mrs. Raccoon kissed Chester in the middle of his palm. Chester felt his mother's kiss rush from his hand, up his arm and into his heart. Even his silky black mask tingled with a special warmth. There's the hand, with the kiss in the middle. Mrs. Raccoon smiled. Now, she told Chester, whenever you feel lonely and need a little loving from home, just press your hand to your cheek and think, Mommy loves you, Mommy loves you. And that very kiss will jump to your face and fill you with toasty, warm thoughts. She took Chester's hand and carefully wrapped his fingers around the kiss, so he's holding it. Now do be careful not to lose it, she teased him. But don't worry, when you open your hand and wash your hands, I promise the kiss will stick. Chester loved his kissing hand. Now he knew his mother's love would go with him wherever he went, even to school. Now, let's see what Chester's doing on this page. What is one thing that you see on the page in this picture? It's colorful and round, and he's playing with it. What is that? It's a ball. Chester is playing with the ball, and he's smiling at his kissing hand, and he's running through the field, and he's rubbing his hand on his arm. How do you think Chester is feeling? He's going like this. He has a smile. How does he feel now about going to school? Maybe he feels frustrated? No, I don't think so. Does he feel angry? I don't think so. I don't think he would be smiling. Does he feel happy? I think so. Happy or loved. He knows his mother loves him, even when he's at school. I think so too. Let's move on. That night, Chester stood in front of his school, and he looked thoughtful. Suddenly, he turned to his mother, and he smiled and said, "Give me your hand." Chester took his mother's hand and unfolded her large, familiar fingers into a fan. Next, he leaned forward and kissed the center. "Now you have a kissing hand too," he told her, and with a gentle "goodbye" and "I love you," Chester turned and danced away. Mrs. Raccoon watched Chester scamper across a tree limb and into school. And as the hoot owl rang in the new school year, she pressed her left hand to her cheek and smiled. The warmth of Chester's kiss filled her heart with special words. "Chester loves you," it sang. "Chester loves you." And that is the end of our story. Now, if I turn back to this first page in the story, we're going to think all the way back to the beginning. when Chester was crying and saying, "Please don't make me go to school," how does he feel? Sad. You're right. Sad. Maybe lonely is another big kid word that we could use to describe how he feels. And then Chester's mother, Mrs. Raccoon, showed him the magic of a kissing hand. How did that make Chester feel? We'll turn to the page where we talked about it. That kissing hand made Chester feel. How did he feel? He felt happy or loved. That's our big kid word that we're going to use. Loved. Look at all those hearts. He felt really warm inside, and he knew that his mom loved him even when he was at school. So he was sad, and that's okay. Then he knew that school was going to be fun, and he became happy about school. So my question for you before we go is, how do you feel about coming to school for the first time? It might be different for you. Maybe you've been to school before and seen me in person at school, but now we're on Zoom together and you're seeing videos of me, so it could be different, and maybe you're feeling a little scared or a little sad that we're not in person. Maybe this is your first day of school. I know on my first day of school, just like Chester, I was feeling really sad because I couldn't stay home and play. I couldn't do what I used to do. But just know that we're going to have lots of fun together. You're going to meet new friends. You are going to play with me at home through Zoom. And we're all going to stay safe and get through this together. So, just like our story ended, I love you, and I will see you later.